Welcome back to Brands Hatch, everybody. We've got our second race of the day coming up for the Woods Food Services Porsche Club Motorsport Boxster Cup. We saw a win earlier on for Perry Darling. Can he make it a second win of the day here? What are now beautiful conditions? There was overcast and cloud cover earlier on. Well, the clouds are starting to break away, which means that the air temperature is up, which means that the track temperature is up, and there's still only a very slight breeze. Let's guide you through the grid. It's based on the second fastest times from qualifying this morning, albeit I have spotted there may well be a couple of gaps on the grid with cars that had problems in race number one. Let's guide you through the grid anyway. Perry Darling starts from pole position, the race one winner from earlier on today, alongside Sarah Thompson, and it is Ben Grucock and Graham Hurd that line up on row number two. The third row of the grid is Wayne Gregory and Faye Noble-Evans, with Darren King and Scott Evans both lining up there on row number four. The fifth row of the grid, it's Ryan Charters and Matt Goff that are there on row number five, and it's Barrington Darcy and Mike Kirtler that are there on row number six. Now, row number seven, I'm not sure either car was there on row number seven. Will Kirtler and Nick Wallace were scheduled to line up on the seventh row, but certainly Nick Wallace was absent from the grid, and I think Will Kirtler was as well. We'll confirm all of that when they get going. Mike Thompson and Anthony Levy, though, were certainly there on what is row number eight. Row nine of the grid is Nick Lawrence, who lines up alongside Eric Bridges, and then it's Sarah Wood and Martin Mason, who had a busy race towards the tail end of the field. What can he do in race number two as he lines up on the 10th row of the grid? Row 11 of the grid is Stuart Warner and Craig Horvath, and at the back of the grid, having qualified 23rd on second fastest times from qualifying, is David Hussey. Let's see whether he can make some progress. He finished 18th earlier on today. So beautiful conditions here at Brands Hatch on the Grand Prix circuit. There's a newly repaved section, a new section that's been tarmacked over the course of this week, and it's just where the cars are coming up to now. So just on the approach towards the right-hander at Sheen Curve, that's where the tarmac colour changes, and you can see it becomes a darker tarmac. And that new tarmac is from there at Sheen Curve, all the way through the right-hander at Sheen Curve, down towards the left-hander at Stirling, and then it continues all the way from Stirling Bend all the way down towards where the Grand Prix circuit meets the Indy circuit once more. So that is tarmac that, as it's new, is nice and smooth and is going to offer up good levels of grip. So it starts here through that section there, through the right-hander, then through the left-hander at Stirling, and then underneath the vehicle bridge, and it's just when the Indy circuit and the Grand Prix circuit re-meet each other on the approach towards Clearways Corner. That's when that new section of tarmac all disappears and they go back to old tarmac once more. So it's beautifully smooth, it's rubbered up now, which means that the grip levels will be brilliant. You can see the change in the tarmac line there, look, where the new tarmac and the old tarmac re-meet. However, it does mean, should we have had any rain today, we haven't, but the forecast tomorrow again looks slightly iffy. It will allow some of the oils in that new tarmac to seep to the surface, so it could be, whilst grippy today, it could be one of the slickest parts of the track tomorrow if we get any precipitation. So this is scheduled to be a slightly shorter race than was originally anticipated, as was the race earlier on today, because we are behind timetable, but we want to try and ensure that everybody gets their racing in today, and the only way to do that is to slightly shorten all of the races. So the dark blue car with its silver and its green flashes, Perry Darling lines up on pole position. It's yellow and red for Sarah Thompson alongside. It's yellow and black, Ben Grucock on row number two alongside the orange and yellow car of Graham Hurd, and it's blue with gold for Wayne Gregory alongside the black and pink Faye Noble-Evans car that sits there on row number three. So I think everybody is in position. At the tail end of the field, the green flag has just been waved, and we're about to get round four of the 2024 Woods Food Services Porsche Club Motorsport Boxster Cup underway here at Brands Hatch. And let's have a quick look. Red lights are on the gantry. Lights flash their way out now, and it's a good start from Ben Grucock from third on the grid. Again, Sarah Thompson, as she was in the race earlier on, a little bit slower away. Trying to sneak up the inside of her is Wayne Gregory, who I think has made it through. So Sarah Thompson, from being second, I think, down to probably fifth place is she by the time they head up towards Druids for the first time. Perry Darling leading the way. Ben Grucock in second place. There's almost contact further back by the look of things as Faye Noble-Evans and Ryan Charters get themselves together. I think light damage to the front end of Ryan Charters' car as he tried to get it anchored up and avoid the gap that was closing between the pair of them. Yeah, you could just see light damage to the front left-hand corner of his car, but they all continue without any ill effects whatsoever, and they're all safely through the first few corners, starting to build the speeds as they head onto the Grand Prix section of the Brands Hatch circuit. So out of Surtees towards Pilgrim's Drop, you could see there Darren King was trying to prise the door open in the silver and black car. on Sarah Thompson, but Sarah Thompson was equally as much trying to make amends for the places lost earlier on, was trying to get right up onto turns with the blue car with the gold stripe down it, which will be Wayne Gregory. Brake lights flash on as they turn their way through Westfield Corner and then start to plunge downhill through Dingle Dell. Wayne Gregory looking to see if he can unlock the door and get himself back ahead of Ben Grucock, who had a really good start, did Ben Grucock, at the wheel of the number 86 car. Was running in third place overall. The car ahead runs wide though, which is Graham Hurd. Also all over the grass is Wayne Gregory as he comes out of Stirling. So that, by the look of things, might just shuffle the order there. So yeah, Ben Grucock down into, or they're in fourth position, and is coming under the pressure of Sarah Thompson, who is down from second on the grid to fifth. So over the start-finish line they will come. They managed to squeeze 5 laps out of what was a restarted race earlier on, because we did have an off for one car, which was Nick Wallace. His car was not present on the grid, and I also can confirm the other car I thought I had not seen, which was Will Kirtland. I didn't see his car there either as they came round, so I think those are 2 cars that have not been able to take the second race of the day, unfortunately, with both of them having retired earlier on today. The fight's starting to brew once more again. There goes the number 20 car of Faye Noble Evans. We've also got, by the look of things, Sarah Thompson under pressure from Ben Grucock, and then right the way around the outside of her goes Darren King at the wheel of the number 17 car. The next car trying to squeeze its way through will be the number 11 in the hands of Ryan Charters, the Donington Park race winner, who could only finish 6th in the race earlier on today. So Ben Grucock under pressure for position, and this is just allowing the front few cars to scamper away. Darren King, who also had a good run at the previous corner, now has Sarah Thompson just drive right the way back alongside him, and Ryan Charters fires one up the inside as they're heading towards Westfield that time through. So did the number 11 car make it through? No, not quite. And now, as a result of slowing his speed through Westfield, that allows Faye Noble Evans to try and squeeze her way through. She can't quite get the job done by the time they get towards Sheen Curve, though. And now she needs to watch her mirrors, because she's got Mike Thompson beginning to close in at the wheel of the Almost Works prototype liveried car. The white and the black and the red in the hands of the number 6. So down the straight towards Clearways Corner they go. Mike Thompson taking a slightly tighter line in towards Clearways. That's not going to gain him a spot, certainly not over Faye Noble Evans, who was more than aware as to what was going on and was ready to cover off any move as they came over the start-finish line this time through, but she's sufficiently far ahead she doesn't need to worry about defence as she heads up towards Paddock Hill Bend. That fantastic black and pink livery with the skull down the side of it. She runs a little bit wide though coming out to Paddock Hill Bend, and that offers up a possibility maybe to Mike Thompson, but he's not quite close enough to capitalise. So Faye Noble Evans still hanging on to final place inside the top 8 at the moment. Another opportunity going in towards Graham Hill Bend, but again Mike Thompson, tighter line in, is going to mean a slightly slower line out, so he'll lose a bit of ground as they head along the Cooper Straight this time through. All of the time whilst Perry Darling leads the way by almost a full second now from Graham Hurd in second place, and Wayne Gregory completes the top 3. Number 44 car of Scott Evans, well, he didn't have the best of qualifyings and had to start his way further down through the order. Also had problems in race number 1. Scott Evans is running down in 14th place currently, looking to see whether he can at least gain one further place, and should be able to do the through and ahead of Anthony Levy he goes at the wheel of the number 60 car. So further place gained for Scott Evans. Now Scott should have lined up 8th on the grid, so I just wonder whether he maybe opted, following the problems in the race earlier on today where he non-finished, whether he opted to start from off the back of the grid, and that's why he's trying to carve his way through the order. Well, that's one more place gained, but he's still got plenty of other cars to try and work his way through, not least of which the next car up will be Matt Goff at the wheel of the number 46 car. Mike Thompson still trying to attack Faye Noble Evans. It's still haven't quite worked out yet who wants to be in 8th and who wants to be in 9th position. Mike's got a good run coming over the start-finish line. He's as close as he's been. Is he going to try anything at Paddock Hill? No, you can see backed out of the move going up towards Paddock Hill Bend there. We've also got a good fight going on for 2nd and 3rd place, because Graham Hurd has managed by, no, in fact this is for the lead of the race, Graham Hurd has managed to get himself through and ahead of Perry Darling. So we've had the change for the lead there. Number 99 car of Graham Hurd picks up the lead of the race. He finished 2nd to Perry Darling earlier on today by less than a second it was. As they came over the start-finish line, there was just 8 tenths between the pair of them. But he does now lead the way from Perry Darling, and not that far away also is the car that's there in third position, which is going to be Wayne Gregory. His is the blue car with the gold flashes to it. So the top three together as again they start to head and build the speeds through Pilgrim's Drop. Ben Grucock in the first of the yellow cars, sitting there in fourth position. Out of Hawthorne Bend goes Graham Hurd. Perry Darling, having lost the lead of the race, will be desperately keen to try and get it back. The car that set the fastest lap of the race is there in third place. That was set a few laps ago by Wayne Gregory, a 1 minute 46.562 from him. So they thread their way through Sheen Curve up towards Stirling. Look how close it is also for fourth and fifth in the background, with Ben Grucock really having the pressure applied by Sarah Thompson, who is certainly going to have another little lead. Let's just have a quick, this is the overtake for the lead. So Graham Hurd jinks up the inside of Perry Darling, heading in towards Hawthorne. The two of them run side by side through the first section of Hawthorne, but eventually the extra momentum of Graham Hurd tells, and that's why he picked up the lead of the race from Perry Darling that time through, who's now trying to re-overtake him, heading up towards Paddock Hill Bend. Graham Hurd just gets across the nose of the pole-sitting car, so hangs on to the lead of the race. And this little squabbling is just allowing the third place car of Wayne Gregory to try a move up the inside of Perry Darling. The two of them run wheel to wheel round through Druids. Wayne Gregory now is up into second place, and Perry Darling, from leading the race a lap and a half ago, finds himself down in third position at the moment. And what they do need to do is be fairly careful, this lead trio, because the next little trio behind are starting to play catch-up. And the new fastest lap of the race has gone to the car that's in sixth place at the moment, which is the half silver, half black car, number 17, in the hands of Darren King. So he's running in sixth place, but they have got themselves into two groups of three at the moment. So down towards Hawthorne they'll go. Wayne Gregory attacking Graham Hurd for the lead of the race. This is the point at which Graham Hurd took the overall lead on the lap prior. Perry Darling tried to fight back. Two wheels on the grass, heading up towards Westfield Corner. He's on the outside line as well. So that will put some grass and dirt and detritus on the Pirellis, and that's dropped him away from the car he had been doing battle with. And if he's not careful, he might fall from third to fourth at this stage. Have we also had a change? Yes, we have. We've had the change for fourth as well, because Sarah Thompson, it's the red and yellow car that's up into fourth place now, and the red and black car, which is going to be the car of Ben Grucock, drops down into fifth position. So we've had a fair chunk of shuffling there, and the top six have almost got themselves together now as well, because Darren King, who is at the tail end of this little train of six cars, is now looking to try and make progress as well. 6 minutes to go. Over the start-finish line, they will thread their way. That is now 5 laps completed, as Wayne Gregory takes a nice wide line going in towards Paddock Hill Bend, but he needs to defend the inside line as well from Perry Darling. The order still remains the same, though. Graham Hurd from Wayne Gregory, from Perry Darling, then it's Sarah Thompson, followed by Ben Grucock, and Sarah Thompson now going all the way around the outside of Perry Darling. She's just set the fastest lap of the race. Outside line at Druids will give her the inside line for Graham Hill Bend, and she's going to go through to pick up the final podium spot with 5.5 minutes to go. Sarah Thompson, who had a poor first lap and dropped to fifth, almost sixth place, is now back in the podium spots once more, but under attack from Perry Darling, who's trying to sneak his way back up the inside through Surtees. That's not quite going to work, though. Sarah Thompson runs a little bit wide coming out of the left-hander. Needs to make sure that she covers off the move from any cars behind. We're running side by side for fifth and sixth, which will be Ben Grucock and the number 17 car in the hands of Darren King. Darren King moves there into fifth position. Ben Grucock drops down into sixth at the wheel of the number 86 car. And if they continue to squabble, we might also have a further car want to join in the fun as well, which will be Ryan Charters, I think, who's running there in seventh place in the red machine. Sarah Thompson under pressure. Wayne Gregory, is she going to be able to sneak through and gain another place? Yes, she is. Through goes Sarah Thompson. Started this particular lap in fourth position. She's now up into second place as her car all of a sudden really hits the sweet spot. Wayne Gregory down into third. And then Perry Darling, who had been leading, is not even featuring on the podium at the moment. So brilliant stuff in the second of our two Woods Food Services Porsche Club Motorsport Boxster Cup races here at Brands Hatch. Over the start-finish time they'll go. Graham Hurd leads the way. Sarah Thompson second. Wayne Gregory third. Perry Darling fourth. Darren King in 5th place. Ben Grucock competes the top 6. And where is Ryan Charters relative to them all? Fastest lap of the race for Ryan Charters, 1 minute 46.022. So the red car in the background of the shot that has a big moment and skitters off into the gravel trap at Paddock Hill Bend. Had been gaining, no longer is he gaining. He found the very limit there, Ryan Charters, and just went the wrong side of the line. Had just set the fastest lap of the race and then skitters off into the gravel trap. And as soon as he does that, no longer does he have the fastest lap of the race, because the fastest lap now goes the way of the number 44 car in the hands of Scott Evans. That's the car that, as I say, had good qualifying pace but went into the gravel trap, and I think he's having to still make progress. Slight mistake there from Wayne Gregory. That's going to allow Darren King to run himself alongside. And if the door is open, Ben Grucock might work his way through. And also now working her way through to the lead of the race is Sarah Thompson, who now goes through and ahead of Graham Hurd. So it's another change for the lead of the race. I mentioned earlier on today that you cannot go Porsche racing any cheaper than in the Woods Food Services Boxster Cup, but you can just see how much fun it is and how even all the cars are. So another change of lead. What's that? 3 different, maybe 4 different drivers that have led at various points. Sarah Thompson leading the way. Graham Hurd in second, but still under pressure. Wayne Gregory, the number 53 car with the gold stripe, just off centre to it, sits there in 3rd position. And where's Perry Darling? He's there in 4th, but dropping away from the lead trio, isn't he? He had been leading earlier on in the race. Now we've got a 5-second penalty coming out, I think this will be. Yeah, for car number 44, which is unfortunately Scott Evans. That's the car that just set the fastest lap of the race. But he has clearly transgressed the circuit limits one too many times. They'll be on to their penultimate lap of the race this time through. So it takes about 1 minute and 45 to do a lap there or thereabouts. They've got, 2.25 minutes left, as Graham Hurd looks to try and re-attack for the lead of the race, but conscious that if he does so, he's got to try and defend also from Wayne Gregory at the wheel of the number 53 car that sits behind. Wheel to wheel down in towards Graham Hill Bend. Sarah Thompson still leading the way. Graham Hurd in the Elite Porsche Specialists car still sitting there in 2nd position. And the Woods Food Services car, sponsors of the category, sitting there in 3rd in the hands of Wayne Gregory. So those 3 have still managed to gap, haven't they? The 4th place car, which is now going to be the silver and black car of Darren King. He'll be up into 4th, which means that Perry Darling, one-time race leader, is, I think, now down into 5th position. So through Hawthorne Bend for the penultimate time, along the short Derek Minter straight. Yeah, it is Darren King that's there in 4th position. Perry Darling has dropped to 5th and is still under pressure by the look of things. He's got Ben Grucock sitting not that far behind him. But the race leaders will be very shortly heading on to what will be their final lap of the race this time through. So for Sarah Thompson, what might she be able to do? She had a 6th in the opening race of the season, didn't score in the 2nd race of the season. She was 5th earlier on today. And Sarah Thompson could be on course for a very, very good result here. Just looking through what Sarah Thompson did last year. Did she claim a win overall? No, she didn't have many podiums and could well be on course for her first win in the Boxster Cup, potentially. Certainly the first win this season. Now, she is 2.4 miles away from that at the moment, but still has Graham Hurd to worry about, who is desperate to see whether he can finish a place higher than he did earlier on today. He was runner-up to Perry Darling in the race that we had earlier on today. And is he going to be able to try anything heading down in toward Graham Hill Bend? He's got the inside line. There was almost a little bit of contact between the pair of them. That's as close as you want to get. Graham Hurd was on the podium for the first time this season earlier on today. Well, he at the moment is now that little bit further away. The failed attempt to try and take the lead of the race as the door started to close. He did the right thing and got out of the move, but that's cost him time relative to Sarah Thompson. It's dropped him back into the clutches of Wayne Gregory, and he is now just going to have to make sure that he doesn't make any mistakes for the remainder of this particular lap that they're on. It's only about, a mile, 3/4 of a mile to go before the checkered flag as they head out of Hawthorne and up towards Westfield for the final time. Sarah Thompson looking good for the win, but Brands is a challenging circuit. Any small mistake at all could end up with severe consequences, and one of the difficult areas is up here into the blind entry in towards Stirling Bend. Nice and neat and tidy from everybody. Sarah Thompson still leading the way from Graham Hurd. Further down through the order, Eric Bridges still trying to fight off Craig Horvath. with just behind them the number 68 of Martin Mason, and then also in on the mix as well is Nick Lawrence, I think. But the overall race leader just heading up towards the braking area for Clearways for the final time. Sarah Thompson, is she going to do it on the run to the line? She's still not got Graham Hurd that far behind. Graham Hurd will get a bit of a tow on the run to the line, but I don't quite think he's going to get there in time. Sarah Thompson wins round 4 of the 2024 Woods Food Services Porsche Club Motorsport Boxster Cup. And what a race it was from her. I think she was as low as 6th, was she not, at the end of the first lap? But brilliant recovery, and the car really came on strong, didn't it? She comes through to claim the win from Graham Hurd, who has 2 second places, so that's not a bad day's work, is it, from Graham Hurd? He can relax and enjoy an ice cream at the wheel of the number 99 car as it heads round on the slowing down lap. And then, in fact, no, Sarah Thompson, I'm just having a quick look, and news has just reached me. Oh no, Sarah Thompson, in the closing stages of the race, picked up a 5-second penalty for track limits. So on corrected times, Graham Hurd will claim the win. That news has only just reached me. So Sarah Thompson on corrected times will drop off the podium and finish in 5th position. Now, she will probably be blissfully unaware of that. It will be Graham Hurd that, come the totting up, will claim the win. And we've still got racing going on, and that looks rather close, does it not? As by the look of things, Eric Bridges is edged out. There's still battles going on. Craig Horvath is having his own little battle with Martin Mason. Martin Mason will get the upper hand there over Craig Horvath. And then further down through the order, I think that was Eric Bridges that just lost out there as well. But good fighting all the way down through the order. And even last couple of cars, Stuart Warner still fighting away with David Hussey. Those are the final 2 cars that I think will come through to take the checkered flag potentially. Yeah, through comes now David Hussey. And then we await the arrival of Stuart Warner over the start-finish line, who I think will be classified in last place. But yeah, on corrected times, Graham Hurd will claim the win from Wayne Gregory, and completing the podium will be Darren King, the first of the cars to take the checker flag. Sarah Thompson picking up that 5-second penalty will drop her down through the order. So let's confirm the results then for you following the 4th race of the championship season. We thought the win was going the way of Sarah Thompson, but the 5-second penalty means that Graham Hurd claims the win from Wayne Gregory in 2nd place. Darren King is there in 3rd place. Perry Darling, the race 1 winner, finishes in 4th place, and Sarah Thompson first across the line at the 5 seconds. She finishes in 5th place. Ben Grucock was there in 6th place. Ryan Chartis was 7th. Barrington Darcy was there in 8th place, with Faye Noble Evans in 9th place, and Scott Evans, another driver that picked up a time penalty, completes the top 10. Mike Kirtler was there in 11th place. Anthony Levy was in 12th place. 13th place went the way of Matt Goff, and then in 14th place it was Martin Mason. Craig Horvath was in 15th place ahead of Eric Bridges in 16th. 17th place goes the way of Nick Lawrence, and then it was Sarah Wood from David Hussey, and the last of the cars over the start finish line was Stuart Warner, who finished in 20th position. The only other car that we need to pick up on that finished a lap adrift in the closing stages, Mike Thompson, had problems, as he did in the race earlier on today, where again he did not see the checker flag on the lead lap. So that's it for the Woods Food Services Porsche Club Motorsport Boxster Cup. We'll do it all again in around about 5-6 weeks time, Alton Park, the 29th of June. So from everybody here at Brands Hatch, join us again in Cheshire on the 29th of June. Goodbye.